Morning, everybody. This is a picture I took of Miller Distribution in the 1980s. As you can see, I tried to replicate the building fairly accurately, as close as I could. Notice that the spur, however, is down like in the ground. It's on a pretty good grade going down. And when I did my building, I had to put it on the same spur as ITT Grinnell. So I'm going to show you now what I'm going to do to try to fix that. So this is my model of Miller Distribution. Some liberties I took, obviously, for space considerations, I had to make it a wedge-shaped building. It's obviously a lot bigger than this, but it never really isn't a big building. You can see in the picture I showed you, basically a couple 50-foot boxcars are pretty much the length of the building. Just in the picture I showed you, you can't see the loading door. The loading door is just a hole in the wall on the real building, and it's not used now. This building is pretty much abandoned. Trucking company uses it for headquarters, but there's no things going in and out, and the spur is long gone. In fact, it's so overgrown you can't even tell there's ever a spur there. So another liberty I took was the beer signs. The beer signs were actually on the other side of the building, but I wanted it to look like you could tell it was a beer distributor, and the sharing the spur with ITT Grinnell. So in real life, Douglas Avenue was here, separated the two of them, and they never had the same spur. But we all have space constraints on our model railroad, so I went ahead and put them on the same spur. The downside of that is because if I put this like at the door, if I have a 60-foot boxcar, man, it is really a tight clearance right here. I can almost sideswipe trains. So I wanted to get it on its own spur to be more prototypical, but I had to do something that wasn't prototypical in order to make that happen. So I'll show you what I did here. So when I originally built this layout, again, it was only 72 inches long. I didn't have staging on either end. So this track right here, going back, was designed to be a hidden N&W interchange. It was going to go all the way back and inside this building, and that was going to be my interchange for the outside world. It's not where the N&W interchange was in real life. It was on farther down, but that was a compromise I was going to make. When I started the layout, I was doing everything by hand, all the paperwork by hand, and I was getting tired of that real quick, having to fill these sheets out, because I operated 2, 3, 4 times a week. I was pretty pumped up about it. So my friend told me about JMRI, and so I started playing around with JMRI, and I've never been able to figure out how to get the interchange track to work on JMRI. So basically this track, I could pick up cars from the interchange, but I would never be able to figure out how to set out cars to the interchange. And, I like keeping things simple. So I said, okay, I'm just going to make that an abandoned track. Just add a little sense of history to the layout. So I made it an abandoned track. Well, as time went on, I hated having that there. So I decided to unabandon the track in order to get, again, it's not prototype to have the door on this side, but it gets it off the same spur. So I built a loading dock. This is a 3/8 inch balsa. I've got some little railing there. Just made a covered loading dock. Put some stuff on it, which I think you can sort of see in the background, some of the details. This is about as, I'll zoom in about as close as I can get. So again, it's not prototypical, but it gets it off the spur. And it was a fun little project to do. Basically, it didn't even hardly take me a day to do all that. It's just all styrene except for the loading dock. I think those are gold medal model railings there. It doesn't add to switching because I've had the industry before. It's going to maybe prevent as many respots as I used to do when I had 2 industries on the same spur. But I haven't really added an industry. So there will no longer be a car sitting there anymore. There'll no longer be a car sitting on that spur. So just because I say just because I've chalk out that it's almost finished doesn't mean I'm not trying to always improve it. So let me show you what else I've been working on. So another thing I've been working on is this little switching lead for Cedar Heights clay. And if you remember my staging yard, when it goes in, I can't open the door. But if I don't want to run a DT&I train, or if I don't have any business down south of Oak Hill, I can put this up. It only extends it about 5 inches, but it makes it a little bit longer of a switching lead for Cedar Heights clay. Right now it's just temporarily. Like I said, I can just clamp it and take it off. If I would mount it permanently, then I'd have to redo the staging yard to match up to this, and I probably don't want to do that. So what I'm thinking of doing is just, I'll probably paint it, make it look nice. If my wife doesn't mind, excuse me, I'll leave it up all the time. Been cutting wood, so I'll leave it up all the time. But this corner really sort of sticks out into the room a little bit. She has almost walked into it at times. Now, she's not that short, but still she'd hit her shoulder on it, or maybe her chin or something on it. So I don't know, if she'll want me to leave that up all the time. But if she does, I'll leave it up. Only take it down when I do the staging yard, and I'll just, connect the track like that. So that's another part I've been working on this week. Well, my wife has my quick bar clamp in the car. She borrowed it to repair a piece of furniture, so I put this big C-clamp on here to hold the piece in place. You can see I put a coat of paint on it, put some little guardrails up of styrene, and just have a little piece of track now. I am not planning on gluing this track down. I know, and Lance Mendheim talks about it in his shelf layout thing about how you can just use the rail joiners to slide them back and forth. Man, on N-scale track, that's kind of tough. So I'm just going to take the track, and off and insert it every time. I did put a stopper here, so train wouldn't run off the end of the track, and I may even actually put because I've got that, I may actually even put a little nail there just to be safe, extra safe. That's it. I mean, that's all I've worked on so far this week. I will come over here. I am making progress on this building here in Oak Hill. That's a Craftsman kit. It's pretty complicated, and I'm not building it exactly like the kit. It's supposed to be a restaurant, and Chance is peeking around the corner here. Hey, Chance. Well, that was enough of that. It's supposed to be a restaurant, but it's going to be like an electronics place, electric supply place in my scheme. So, but I'll post an operations video this weekend for you. So everybody stay safe.